Hello, I'm Langdon. Welcome to A Current Affair. Coming up, one-on-one with Kate Winslet.
Only one of you can pull off the Aussie accent, though.
Oh, thank you.
I didn't say it was you.
But first, when a couple of Gurpreet's local election signs went missing, he didn't think much of it. Then they started disappearing by the dozen. So the council hopeful hatched a plan to track them down. We were there when he found them in a very intriguing place.
Are you lying right now, Jazz?
100% not.
It's the election heist.
I don't know why someone can go that low by stealing the signs.
Pitting candidate
He might be afraid. He might think I'm winning.
against candidate.
Someone is trying to defame me. He will definitely tick your all boxes.
Jazz Masuta, real estate agent by day,
5 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms.
Bollywood star by night. Versus dad and business owner Gurpreet Gill, whose election posters keep vanishing.
Who's taking my signs?
The city of Casey in Melbourne's southeast, the backdrop for the latest suburban whodunit.
We noticed like a few of my signs are missing. And I thought like maybe it could be because of the wind, because we put on the fence.
Gurpreet believes up to 80 of his signs have been nicked in a case of campaign sabotage.
And then we put like extra screws to make sure it won't the wind take away the signs from the fence. And it's still missing.
So with a thief on the loose, Gurpreet turned amateur sleuth.
I got some Apple A tags with numbers like sign 1, sign 2, sign 3, sign 4. I'm going to hide inside my signs. So that's the way I can track my signs and, I can catch someone.
Not long, an alert on his iPad.
It's 5 in the morning. My signs are missing. With my wife and 2 of my friends, we went to that area to see where are my signs at the moment. I managed to find the house where it's showing me now through my tracking app.
The stolen signs were tracked here to this street. They spent the night in the vicinity of a home just over there before being moved and dumped the following afternoon. According to property records, that house is owned by one of Gurpreet's rival council candidates.
While I was giving my statement in Cranbourne police station, in front of the police officer, he witnessed on my iPad, while I was giving statement, my sign was moving from from that particular street to different street.
We went there where the AirTags were still live.
And we are only 100 meters away.
From the AirTags?
From the AirTags. I think we've gone past.
We've gone past.
Yeah.
Is that it?
Yeah.
That's your
my
sign.
Bingo.
So presumably, whoever's stolen them has noticed they're being tracked.
Yeah.
They've panicked, they've come here.
Panic and then just dumped here. 14 kilometers away.
Now we've just got to find the culprit.
Yes.
One of the signs was stolen from this empty block, but the clumsy thieves made one fatal mistake. A car pulls up and the passenger dumps the poster in the boot. If we zoom in, you'll see it's a Mazda, a common car brand that's also owned by Jazz Masuta. The next day, Jazz's car is captured leaving his home. Around the same time, 2 stolen posters with AirTags are pinged leaving the area. We don't know for sure who's behind the wheel, but we do know the posters later ping near this intersection at the same time as a silver Mazda, which appears to be Jazz's. The signs are dumped a few hundred metres away, and 10 minutes later, the silver Mazda returns in the other direction.
It's a stupid thing.
So is Jazz swiping signs, or is there an innocent explanation? Time to ask the man himself.
Give me 2 minutes, man, please. I'll definitely give you all the answers. Just give me 2 minutes, man, okay?
We do, but then Jazz bolts inside his real estate office.
I've got some allegations that we really need to put to you.
But we're locked out. Half an hour later, Jazz returns.
My name is Jazz Masuda.
At this point, Jazz still has no idea why we want to speak with him. He gives us his election pitch.
Nowadays, the safety is the big concern because, like, there's a lot of stealings happening, cars being stolen, stealing from the houses.
Can I ask you one thing? This car, do you recognise that car? This one here?
No idea, man.
That's not your or your wife's car? It's a Mazda.
That is my car. Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Can I ask you if you recognise this car here?
No, man. No, I can't even see the car. No idea, man. No idea.
What if I told you that was the same car?
No.
Parked in Clyde North.
No, not possible, man. Impossible. No.
How can Jazz be so sure when we haven't even told him yet what the car was filmed doing?
One of your rival candidates, Gurpreet Gill, has had many of his signs stolen.
I have no
including
idea.
This person in this Mazda,
Yeah.
which resembles your car, taking down the sign outside someone's house the other night, last week.
No, sir. We don't have any idea, but this is not my car. In the night time, I always with my kids.
So you've never taken anybody else's election signs?
Never.
You've never told anybody to remove any of your rival signs?
No, that's not my personality to do that stuff. I never.
Can I ask you then why some of these signs, which had air tags inside, ended up outside your residential home?
Well,
Why is that?
this can be done from anyone because I'm running the elections, I'm meeting everyone, and I've been working from last 6 to 7 months in this, in the elections.
So you've been set up, is what you're saying?
Someone is trying. This can be. Someone is trying to defame me.
It's actually it's 2 times been stolen
2 signs you've lost.
from this same spot.
I've spotted somebody else's sign across the road,
Yeah,
which is still there.
yeah.
Your sign remains standing. Gurpreet Gill's sign has been taken away. Surely that's not just a coincidence.
Sam, this can be 100% coincidence, but my signboard also ripped off.
Your signboards are still there because we went there and we saw them.
Sam, I have no idea about this. I really need you guys to support me in this journey, but not because this is the first time I'm giving an interview on a national TV, right? I'm not very
Well, it might be
familiar.
your last if these allegations are proven.
If you guys can prove this was done by this car, or then more than happy, right?
If we do prove it, will you stand down as a candidate?
Well, definitely, man. We are not doing this all stuff.
It seems it isn't case closed for now, at least.
No, I was disappointed at one moment, but it actually boosted me. It gave me more energy to work hard. I'm not scared. Thank you, Apple Attack.
Why would you get into politics, huh? And Gurpreet's made a report to police who tell us they're investigating. But Gurpreet, if your career in politics doesn't work out, you'd make a pretty good detective. Well, there's a very special visitor in town, and I'm not talking about the King. Screen Queen Kate Winslet is here promoting her new film, Lee. Until now, Lee Miller has been known as a model and a muse, but those are the least interesting things about her. Lee's most important role was almost lost to history because she never spoke about it. Then, Kate came along.
Europe was at war, and I felt useless.
I hear you're the woman to see about a job.
I am.
We don't hire older models.
I'm not a model anymore.
I'd rather take a picture than be one.
It's just so creative. Send me to Europe.
From the glossy pages of fashion magazines to the front line during World War II, Lee Miller swapped life in front of the camera for one behind it, breaking barriers in more ways than one.
There's no women allowed in the press briefing.
You gotta be kidding me.
We don't send women to combat.
Well, that's a problem, because I'm here. Why should the men get to decide?
She brought the horrors of war back home so the world could know the truth, no matter how ugly it was.
Even when I wanted to look away, I knew I couldn't. There are different kinds of wounds. Not just the ones you can see.
Can I also say how lucky we are? We've got all the English royalty in town at the moment. We've got the King, Queen and Kate Winslet.
No, they are actual royalty, let's be real. How amazing. I'm here at the same time as King Charles and Queen Camilla. That's nice.
Only one of you can pull off the Aussie accent, though.
Oh, thank you.
I didn't say it was you.
It's definitely not them. No, let's be real. It's definitely not them.
Yeah. Can I say, watching this film, I don't know whether to hug you or curse you, because I am now obsessed with Lee Miller. What a woman.
Yes, I know. Did you know who she was before seeing this film? You see, that's why I wanted to make the film, because I knew of her photographic work, but I didn't know anything about the lengths that she went to get the permission as a female photographer to go into Europe and to document what was happening on the front line, revealing the truth of the Nazi regime for the female readers of British Vogue. It's extraordinary that she did that.
So I feel like she's a woman of our time, but when you go back to then and try and think of what that world looked like at that time. And here she is, she's on the front line. She's visiting concentration camps. I mean, that famous photo of her in Hitler's bathtub. But what a trailblazer.
She was a trailblazer, and as you say, it was 80 years ago, and this is a woman who was already redefining femininity to mean resilience and power and courage and compassion. And Lee was remarkably without vengeance. You know, she had suffered a horrific trauma as a child, but refused to let that define her. But what it did do is it gave her this very powerful streak of injustice and that determination to just keep going, to seek out the truth, to reveal the ugly truth to the world, and not to take no for an answer. And there's something incredibly inspiring about that, and not looking away. She was there to bear witness, and never at any point did she say, okay, no, this is too much, I'm going home.
It's too hard.
She just kept going. And it's an incredible selfless act, actually. And she's the most inspiring person I've ever played.
That's a big call, right? Considering your career and the years you've spent in this industry, to highlight this as a pinnacle in a way.
Well, it's been such a large part of my life, and now it's 9 years since the very, very beginning in 2015. And even when I look at the poster, I'm like, okay, I don't have to keep making the film. It's really happened. It's really real. There is a poster. That's my face on the poster. And here I am doing a press junket talking about the film in Australia.
I'm not sure you're ready to let it go.
But it's really... But I don't think... In a way, I hope that I never do, in a funny way. You know, I sort of feel like this is... You know, sometimes the characters get a little bit stuck to the side and you just have to kind of get on with it and you move on with your life. And sometimes they become a bit of a part of you, in a way. And there are things that Lee did as a woman, and how she walked through the world was so phenomenally powerful and compassionate. And she was an amazing lady, and I hope there's a bit of her that always stays in me.
Stop! Who cares? Nobody saw them. You didn't print them. I fought for them, Lee.
Not hard enough.
I mean, we talk about her being a trailblazer, and there are words like, you know, that she was rebellious, brave. They're all words that have all so been associated with you.
It's really interesting because I don't feel rebellious, you know. I just feel as though I've always, you know, I've known my own mind for most of my adult life, and I think you definitely learn that and learn how to use your integrity and your words and your actions in a more, I suppose, profound way the older that you get. But I wanted to make the film covering this decade of Lee's life because she had been so labelled herself when she was younger. She was a model. She was a cover girl for Vogue. She didn't like being a model. She famously said, "I'd rather take a picture than be one." But also she was described, when I would Google her in 2015, as the ex-lover and muse of Man Ray. So this sort of obsession with describing women alongside their love lives seems really, really reductive to me.
Do you think we've moved that far from it, though?
I don't know if we have moved far enough from it, and I think making films like Lee hopefully pushes that message further down the line towards us not keeping doing all of that stuff, because women are women. It doesn't matter what our past is. It doesn't matter who we've dated. It doesn't matter any of that stuff.
But I feel like that's a lot of the things that you have called out during your career too. Even going back to the time of Titanic, and that I think you called it borderline abuse. You copped around your body, and you know, at what point do you think you found that confidence and power to stand up to that?
I think I'm probably still finding it now. I mean, I think as we do get older as women, I fully believe that we become more powerful, more beautiful, sexier, more intelligent, more in our bodies. And I think we're hearing women's stories in the world and narrative stories in a completely different way, like almost with different sets of ears to ever before.
Yeah, I feel like your narrative helps that conversation along as well in regards to body. I think you've helped shift that narrative, and also in the fact, I mean, you're so vocal on other things like social media, which I appreciate as a mum with young kids, right?
It's important to me that I think that it's talked about, this issue of families struggling with whether to give their children social media or not, what to do if they have it or they use it perhaps too often. What I was finding in the UK was that parents were feeling very alone because they didn't know how to talk about it if they were struggling. So I definitely do believe in opening up channels for conversation around subjects that people often feel either ashamed to talk about or just don't actually have the words.
You dislike anyone who questions you, especially when you know you're wrong. And you have secrets, many, that you'll never share.
I'm never wrong.
I think it is time for us to stop in for a cup of tea. Can I ask you to throw back to Ali in the studio for me?
Back to you, Ali, in the studio.
Oh, gee, thanks, Kate. And I don't care what she says, she's a queen in my eyes. Kate Winslet's incredible film Lee is in cinemas this Thursday. Well, up next, now it's the King's turn, a day down under with the royals. But not everyone was well-mannered.
Without the phone.
A smooch, a sneeze and plenty of handshakes. It's been a crazy day in Canberra for the King and Queen during their Aussie tour. There were tears of joy from fans coming face to face with royalty, but it wasn't a warm welcome from everyone.
From the moment their Majesties touched down in the nation's capital, they scored the full treatment. The King, wearing his military medals, greeted with the traditional welcome to country, sealed with a cheeky kiss. The Canberra crowd crammed in at the War Memorial for this historic tour. There were handshakes.
King Charles!
King Charles! Hello!
And you shook his hand?
Yes, we shook his hand. It was really cool. It was very humbling, very good. Finally get to see someone famous in Canberra.
Yeah.
That turned into handholds. This woman wouldn't let go. Hidden in the royal throng, a bushy blonde. Yep, an alpaca that wasn't afraid to let go. Leaving King Charles with a sloppy souvenir on his sleeve. He's an award-winning, market-loving, well-groomed, fundraising fluffball with his own social media fans.
At least it was a real... It sneezed on me. I don't know. I've got the shot. When I was in Nepal years ago, an elephant sneezed on me. That's not a good idea.
Evelyn Mackay, 94 years old, came prepared, arms full with flowers, and look at that smile.
I was telling her I'm coming to find her a king.
She and daughter Vivia didn't have to look far, poised in prime position.
How did you go? Did you meet him? Yes, he shook her hand.
Shook my hand. And Kamala gave her the
flowers.
The flowers. And she was delighted.
And it's not Evelyn's first brush with royalty.
Back in 1935, when she was just a girl, her eldest sister Olga presented flowers to Queen Elizabeth II, and my mum gave her flowers to Margaret, Princess Margaret.
Inside the Australian War Memorial, sombre scenes, a wreath and 2 poppies for World War I diggers, Private William Punch and Private William Johnson, who died fighting for our freedom. Nearby, another fight. Police versus protesters.
I'm just standing here as part of the procession with everybody else. I'm a senator of Victoria and I've come here to look at the King. Thank you.
Rogue Senator Lydia Thorpe on a mission to remind the royals of our colonial past.
Do you think the Australian War Memorial is the appropriate place to do that?
I think anywhere in this country is appropriate.
Give us what you stole from us!
Even inside Parliament. He is our king, and Camilla our queen, who spent hours speaking with extraordinary Aussies. A short but sweet visit to our nation's capital. Tomorrow, the public's final chance to shake hands with their majesties as they tour one of Australia's icons, the Opera House. From our famous sails, they will set sail on Sydney's sparkling harbour. It's the best view in Sydney, and this will be the last formal engagement of Australia for the King and Queen. Before they step foot on their vessel, it's been given a royal spruce-up. Rear Admiral Christopher Smith is commander of the Australian fleet.
Ready to go?
All ready to go, sir.
It's a bit of preparation. You want to put on a good show, and we're in the best harbour in the world, so you want to make sure that we set the standard there.
The Navy's royal connection stems back to 1911, King George granting the title Royal Australian Navy, and the King himself spent time at sea during his career in the Royal Navy in the 1970s.
We're sort of hoping that the collection of vessels and the aircraft that'll fly over will hopefully take him back to his time in the Navy and that strong connection. He's Honorary Admiral of the Fleet to the Royal Australian Navy, he holds that title, but he's also a naval officer in his own right.
A number of ships will be on display.
They'll be dress ships, which means for the frigates and destroyers they'll have flags up or buntings from the mast down to the extremities of the ship, equivalent to putting on a party dress.
A party in the sky too. Sydney receiving a glimpse today of tomorrow's display. Air Force pilot Lieutenant Jazel Powell.
So there's a lot of nerves, there's a bit of excitement, but mostly just generally proud that you've managed to get this far.
Serving as a send-off as the Royals wave goodbye to their first official tour of Australia as King and Queen.
What a day, and we'll be there to follow the King and Queen in Sydney tomorrow. Well, coming up, they're supposed to be enjoying retirement, but then they trusted a mate.
All our money has gone, all of it.
Did they say I stole money? Shane.
Tomorrow night, retirement's ruined.
Shifty Shay.
So you're not a liar, you're just dishonest, is that correct?
I'm not a liar.
Banned for life over bad financial advice.
He's hurt good people.
His companies owe millions, but Shane says he's done nothing wrong.
Did they say I stole money? Shane.
We'll have that story tomorrow, and that's the show. I'm Ali Langdon. Thanks for your company. Have a great night.